Bear with me, I know this sounds crazy. 2 weeks ago, I woke up in a hospital bed. They told me I was in a car accident. I don't remember the crash, just a blinding flash of light. Since being discharged, things have felt wrong. Not just slightly off, deeply off, like the world is wearing a mask and I'm the only one who can see the seams. Little things were off at first, easy to dismiss. But today, something happened. Something I can't explain. And now I know for sure, whatever this is, it isn't just in my head. This is real. And I'm scared as fuck. At first, nothing seemed too weird. I'd never spent a night in a hospital before, so waking up in a sterile, fluorescent-lit room was bound to feel unsettling. I brushed it off. My parents were more doting than usual, but for people whose son had almost died, they took it surprisingly well. At least, until we got to the car. That's when the concern cracked, and the disappointment seeped through. They scolded me for wrecking my 2003 Saturn shitbox, calling me reckless. The words sounded right, worried, even empathetic, but something was off. My mom's face kept shifting, like she couldn't settle on how she was supposed to feel. My dad, though. He barely moved. He sat rigid, staring straight ahead, as if turning his head wasn't an option. But I could feel him watching me. His gaze lingered in the rearview mirror, heavy and cold. Each time I glanced up, I'd catch his eyes for just a split second before he snapped them back to the road. But I knew. I knew he never really looked away. After the sixth time, I stopped looking away, too. The mirror became a silent one-way standoff as I waited for him to scold me through it again. He didn't so much as glance at it for the rest of the drive. It was a short drive. None of this was cause for concern, really. Nothing that followed was all that crazy. But when we got home, I felt a shift. Coming from the harsh fluorescence of the hospital and the golden stretch of road outside, I wasn't prepared for the cool dimness of the house. It wasn't dark, exactly. Mom always kept the shades open, she liked the light. But now, they weren't quite shut, just not open enough. Like someone had hesitated halfway and left them there. My family didn't linger. After some pleasantries, Mom disappeared into the master bedroom, Dad went back to work, and I was left alone on the living room couch. I popped a Tylenol, took a few hits from my pen in the bathroom, and settled in. The rest of the day was mostly silent, aside from the occasional sound of Mom's bedroom door opening and closing. I wasted time scrolling on my phone, barely aware of the shifting sunlight until a beam stretched across the room and hit my eyes. I turned from my pillow to the armrest, bought myself another 20 minutes. Then another beam crept up, warming my feet like some kind of passive-aggressive warning from the sun. Alright, message received. I sighed, peeled myself off the couch, and mumbled, "Fuck it, you win," before dragging myself to my room. I was asleep before I could think too much about it. The week that followed was unusual, to say the least. It was summer break, and normally I'd be stocking shelves at Walmart or messing around with my friends, but doctor's orders were pretty straightforward. You've got a concussion, don't be an idiot. No standing for long periods, no heavy lifting, no unnecessary risks. Fine by me. I got a doctor's note, a couple of weeks off, and a temporary escape from the joys of minimum wage labor. It wasn't the end of the world, part-time jobs come and go. For now, I just had some headaches and a free pass to lay low. Better that than risking something worse, whether it was from dreading work or from one of my friends intentionally checking a basketball into my skull because we're over-competitive degenerates. I didn't really care to go outside much. The weather hadn't been as sunny as the first day I got back. Clouds hung low, thick and unmoving, like they were pressing down on the neighborhood. Even when the sun did break through, it was this weak, watery light that barely seemed to touch the ground. It just made staying inside feel more justified. So I did. I moved the Xbox from the basement to my room. Normally, that would have been a no-go, but if anyone asked, I'd just plead the concussion card and call it a win. No one even commented on it, which felt strange. Like they should have, but didn't. I just holed up, gaming, eating, zoning out in front of Skyrim lore videos in the living room, whatever. Aside from family dinners, I didn't talk to my parents much. The conversations at the table were dull, barely conversations at all. Dad was working later than usual, often slipping away right after eating. Mom was around, I knew that much. I heard her. The bedroom doors opening and closing. The creak of the floorboards when she walked. The soft SHFF of her feet brushing across the carpet upstairs. But I barely saw her. Not in tea.